So these three teens, Layla, who's 16, her boyfriend Michael, who's 17, and Camille, who's 16, are hanging out in the same neighborhood where they grow up. At first, it's just another night, but within days, all three of them are found either shot or killed. Layla is discovered first, barely clinging to life on the side of the road. Then, police find Michael, and finally, Camille, hidden in the trunk of a car. Detectives start digging and uncover something chilling. Every single suspect is a friend, and they're all part of the same gang. But when cops bring them in, their stories don't match at all. And then, one of them finally breaks. So the story starts just before midnight on March 30th, 2023, in Marion County, Florida. It's late. Most people are in for the night. Then, out of the blue, a desperate voice calls 911, saying there's a teenage girl lying in the street, bleeding badly. She's hurt. Head wound, barely breathing. First responders scramble to the scene, unsure of what they'll find. At first, deputies are confused. A young girl, no ID, blood everywhere. No obvious clue as to who she is or what happened. The neighbors are in shock, and one of them even says she thought it was just a car hitting a dumpster. Then she heard the shots. Another claims a man ran from the scene, vanishing into the dark. The only certainty was that there was no accident, and whoever did this vanished without a trace. The girl, 16-year-old Lee Silvernail, is rushed to the hospital. Her grandparents are completely devastated and can barely process what happened. Detectives quickly pivot to the only clue they have. Who was she with last night? Her friends? Her boyfriend? Maybe her best friend Camille. More and more names start to surface, but nothing makes sense. Within hours, police find a second body. Another teen, shot and left just blocks as to where Lee was found. Now, the panic's rising. 2 victims, 2 scenes, and not a single solid lead. As detectives scramble, they realize these kids all hang out together. The investigation grows, but answers are painfully slow. Lee's best friend Gabby gives detectives the breakthrough. They were at a trap house, a rundown spot by a kid named Rob. There were more. A kid named 35, who's 12 years old, who looks impossibly young to be caught in something this serious. Sosa, Lee's boyfriend Michael, a runaway girl Camille, who hasn't been seen since. Hours turn into days, and then there's a third discovery. They find Camille's body in the trunk of a car dumped in a lake, 2 days after the others. Now there's 3 victims, 3 grieving families. Whatever happened here was more than some petty fight or wrong place, wrong time tragedy. But the deeper detectives look, the messier it gets. Interrogations start. The suspects, all kids themselves, start spinning the stories of betrayal. Rob says he was home, did nothing, he was just chilling. 35, the kid who was only 12, trembles and just refuses to talk, scared to even look in the officer's eye. They finally start unraveling the truth. Every suspect points the finger at someone else. I was afraid, one cries, voice is shaking. If I didn't do what he wanted, he said he'd kill me. They describe an original plan that was just supposed to be hanging out or maybe carjacking, but it spiraled. Robbery, guns, gang violence. The name KTM comes up. It's a crew, maybe a real gang. Maybe just something to scare the other kids. But shock comes when they all begin to admit it. Each of the teens were in the car. Each of them saw what happened, but nobody stopped it. The night turns into a blur. Seats rearrange, a boy in a ski mask climbs in, someone pulls out a gun. Shots ring outside the cramped car. He shot them because they wouldn't hand over the money and the weed, one of them says. Another insists, I only pulled the trigger because he told me if I didn't, I'd never make it out of the woods. At the end, 3 suspects, Robert, Taj, and Chris, are all interrogated, each trying to minimize their own role, each insisting he alone couldn't possibly be guilty of more than being in the wrong place at the wrong time. By the time the grand jury indicts them, the facts were fixed. Lee and Michael were shot and dumped. Camille was killed last, hidden in the trunk of a car and left to die by the lake. All for just a little bit of money and some weed. And as of now, all 3 boys are waiting for trial, still blaming one another, still running from the reality of what they did.